They say seeing is believing. But what if the things you see aren't what they seem? For eons, tales of shape-shifting beasts have lurked in the shadows of human history. From ancient myths of werewolves to whispered conspiracies about high-profile figures shifting before our eyes, the idea of humans changing into something inhuman has never really left us. Maybe it's paranoia. Perhaps it's folklore clinging to our collective subconscious. Or maybe there's a reason these stories refuse to die. From bizarre footage that defies explanation to unsettling encounters that make you question actuality, here are 15 terrifying evidence that shapeshifters are walking among us. Number 15. The weird twin theory. Ever seen someone who looks exactly like someone else, but they swear they're not related? What if that wasn't a coincidence? Some believe that shapeshifters use their ability to replace people at will, taking over their identity. Well, that's horrific. They mimic voices, memories, and even personal quirks. Well, you can take the idea, making it nearly impossible to tell them apart from the real person. This theory ties into the concept of the evil twin, a creepy idea that's been around for centuries. From ancient myths to modern paranormal encounters, there are countless stories of people seeing their own double, and then something bad happening soon after. In 2024, a man in New York swore he saw his own exact double enter a coffee shop. Same face, same clothes, even the same mannerisms. He approached him, only for the man to turn and disappear in the blink of an eye. Was it a coincidence? Well, only this, and God knows. Number 14. The Men in Black. You've heard of the Men in Black, right? No, not Will Smith and Tommy Jones, the real ones. These mysterious agents supposedly appear after UFO sightings, warning witnesses to stay silent. But some believe they aren't human at all. Reports describe MIB agents as strangely stiff, eerily pale, and emotionless. They lack eyebrows, have blank expressions, and move like something learning how to be human. People who've encountered them say their presence feels off, like something's imitating a person, but not quite getting it right. Some theorists suggest these agents are actually shape-shifting aliens, covering up their own existence. After all, why would a secret government force send creepy, robotic men in black suits to silence people? A viral case in 2024 reported MIB agents caught on a security camera in Nevada, moving with an uncanny, glitchy stiffness. Were they just actors? Or was the truth slipping through? Number 13. The reptilian eye flicker. Well, you've probably seen those bizarre videos where a politician, news anchor, or celebrity has a split-second glitch in their eyes. If you have seen the doll eye trick of Katy Perry, well, you will easily get it. One frame they look normal. The next, their pupils are vertical slits, just like a reptile. The idea behind this theory is simple. Shapeshifters can control their human disguise, but sometimes it slips. Maybe they're tired, distracted, or simply losing focus, and for a fraction of a second, their true form flickers through. Some of the most infamous clips include Justin Bieber's alleged eye shift at an airport and a U.S. senator's eerie glitch during a 2024 press conference. Critics claim it's just bad camera compression. But why do these mistakes always seem to happen to the same kinds of people? Well, guys, conspiracy or not, one thing's certain. Next time you watch an interview, pay close attention to the eyes. You never know what you might see. Number 12. Aswang. In Filipino folklore, there's a creature even more terrifying than vampires or werewolves, and once you look at it, you will forget the predator. People call it the Great Aswang. Unlike typical monsters, an aswang doesn't hide in the shadows. It walks among us. By day, an aswang might look like an ordinary person, a friendly neighbor, a market vendor, even a close friend. But by night, it transforms into something inhuman. One of its most horrifying forms is the viscera sucker. a woman whose upper torso separates from her body, growing wings to hunt for victims. She feeds on unborn children and human organs, slipping through windows while her detached body waits in the forest. In 2025, a viral case in the Philippines had people terrified. A woman was caught on CCTV footage glitching while walking at night. Some claimed it was a deepfake gone wrong. Others weren't so sure. Maybe the aswang isn't just a story. Maybe it's still hunting. Number 11. The doppelganger. The term doppelganger comes from German folklore, and it's more than just a look-alike. In legend, seeing your own identical double isn't just unsettling, it's a warning that something terrible is about to happen. Many famous historical figures reportedly saw their doppelganger before tragedy struck. In fact, Abraham Lincoln supposedly had a vision of his own double, one sickly pale, one alive and well. Shortly after, he was assassinated. Doppelgangers aren't just seen, they're also said to replace people. Some myths claim that these doubles are otherworldly entities that mimic humans, infiltrating society. They act like you, look like you, but something is always slightly off. And here's the freakiest part. In 2025, security footage surfaced of a woman in London seeing her exact double outside her apartment. The double smiled at her, and then walked away, vanishing behind a building. So, was it just a trick of the light, or something darker? Number 10. The lizard people theory. You've heard it before, the idea that some of the most powerful people on Earth aren't human. But this isn't about politicians being cold-blooded metaphorically. No, we're talking about actual reptilian entities hiding under human skin, pulling the strings of the world like a twisted episode of Black Mirror. The theory really took off when David Icke, a British conspiracy theorist, claimed in the 90s that these shape-shifting lizard overlords control everything: governments, media, even the financial system. And if you think that sounds ridiculous, explain the countless videos of political figures and celebrities whose eyes flicker into reptilian slits mid-speech. Bad camera quality? Maybe. But in 2024, an eerie live stream glitch at the G20 summit made people question everything. A major leader's face distorted for a split second, triggering a wave of viral theories. Well, we don't know what it was, but we do know that it was not normal. The world is not for normal people like us. It's a pretty hard reality. Anyway, now let's talk about Number 9. The Skinwalker. If we're talking about terrifying shapeshifters, we have to talk about this one. These creatures from Navajo legend are witches that can transform into animals, but in a way that's beyond unnatural. Unlike werewolves or mythological beasts, skinwalkers don't just wear animal skins. They become them. Coyotes, yetis, wolves, you name it. But their power comes at a cost. To become a skinwalker, you must take a human life. The scariest part? They can also mimic human voices and even take human form, blending in. Imagine someone you know acting just slightly off. Maybe their eyes look wrong, their movements feel unnatural, or their voice sounds different. In 2024, a Utah rancher reported a figure standing in his yard one night. It looked like his neighbor, until it dropped to all fours and sprinted away unnaturally fast. Security cameras glitched as it passed. So, does it prove that something walks among us? Number 8. The Wendigo. The idea of a creature that looks human but isn't has haunted cultures for centuries. One of the most chilling examples? The good Wendigo. This terrifying entity comes from Native American folklore, particularly the Algonquian-speaking tribes. Unlike other monsters, a Wendigo doesn't start out as a beast. It was once human. But extreme isolation, starvation, or desperation in the harsh frozen wilderness can break a person, leading them to commit the unimaginable and unthinkable like cannibalism. And once that line is crossed, their humanity is lost forever. Legends say a Wendigo becomes unnaturally tall and thin, with glowing eyes and an insatiable hunger for flesh. But the worst part? It can mimic human voices and even take on its old appearance. So, that friendly face you trust might not be human at all. In 2024, hikers in northern Canada reported eerie calls for help in the woods, only to find no one there, just a tall shadow moving between the trees. What do you think? What it was? Well, let us know. Number 7. Shape-shifting celebrities. Hollywood is full of untouchable, ageless, almost inhumanly perfect people, and conspiracy theorists have long suspected that some of them are, well, not people at all. A-listers like Beyoncé, Lady Gaga, and Justin Bieber have been accused of being reptilian entities, using their ability to shapeshift as a way to maintain their youth and influence. And if that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, explain the footage. You've probably seen it. Celebrities are caught on camera with eyes that flicker into slits, skin that briefly looks scaly, or moments where their expressions seem to glitch entirely. Sure, some of these could be bad lighting or video compression artifacts, but when it keeps happening, people start asking questions. And let's not ignore how some stars never seem to age. Take Keanu Reeves, who looks identical to his 1999 Matrix self, or Pharrell Williams, whose face hasn't changed since the early 2000s. Plastic surgery? Some kind of perfect genes? Or something far alienger? Number 6. The Denver International Airport. If you've ever had a layover at Denver Airport, you might have noticed something off. The place feels too big, too weird, and too full of eerie symbolism. And for decades, people have believed it's way more than just an airport. The theory? Deep beneath DIA lies a massive underground facility where reptilian elites and secret societies meet to orchestrate global control. Sounds wild, right? Well, the airport doesn't help its case. Let's start with the artwork. Murals depicting apocalyptic war scenes, shadowy figures in cloaks, and cryptic messages about the New World Order. Then there's Blucifer, the giant demonic blue horse with glowing red eyes, a statue that literally killed its sculptor before being installed. And here's where it gets even creepier. In late 2024, construction workers accidentally uncovered hidden tunnels beneath the airport. Officials called them old service corridors. But conspiracy theorists? They saw proof of the underground reptilian base. So next time you're at DIA, just remember, you might not be the only one watching. Number 5. Changelings. Once upon a time, parents feared that their infants weren't truly theirs. European folklore spoke of changelings, fairy or demonic imposters left in place of stolen human babies. The original child was either raised by fairies or sacrificed to the devil. Though changelings appeared human, they weren't quite right. They were often strangely intelligent, insatiably hungry, yet eerily small for their age. Some legends even describe them as wailing endlessly and draining their nurses dry. To expose a changeling, parents would perform bizarre tests, like burning eggshells in front of them. If the child reacted with unnatural wisdom, it was seen as proof of their deception. The solution? Harm the changeling to force the fairies to return the real baby. Tragically, many sick or disabled children were mistaken for changelings, just like the vampire situation. Number 4. Puka. In Celtic folklore, the puka is a shape-shifting trickster with motives as unpredictable as the wind. This dark-furred fairy can take on many forms: cats, rabbits, goblins, or even humans. However, its most famous shape is a massive black horse with golden eyes, galloping through the night. Pukas love chaos. They break fences, spoil crops, and terrorize travelers. But some stories suggest they also protect the innocent, warning villagers of impending disasters. Ireland's King Brian Boru allegedly tamed a puka using a bridle made from its own hair, forcing it to leave Christians and Irishmen alone, though the beast was still allowed to prank drunkards. Despite their tricks, some pukas act as messengers, delivering cryptic prophecies. If you ever hear whispers in the wind or see glowing eyes, you might just have met one. Number 3. Kumiho. In Korean folklore, the kumiho is a nine-tailed fox demon that seduces and preys on single, unsuspecting men. Unlike its benevolent Japanese counterpart, the kitsune, the kumiho's beauty hides a monstrous secret. By taking the form of a sexy lady, it lures men into intimate encounters, then steals their souls using a magical stone. Some legends say the kumiho rips out livers or hearts, consuming them to become fully human. One famous tale, The Jewel of the Fox's Tongue, tells of a kumiho who killed 99 schoolboys, needing just one more victim to ascend to heaven. But her final target outsmarted her, swallowing the fox's jewel instead, gaining wisdom and power. In modern Korea, yowu is still used to describe cunning, manipulative women. Perhaps the legend serves as a warning. Some charms are deadly. Number 2. Ilimu. In Kenyan folklore, the Ilimu is a flesh-eating demon that steals the form of its victims. Some describe it as a healthy young man, others as a twisted elder with a foot growing from his neck. The Ilimu's most terrifying trick? It mimics its victims perfectly, stealing hair, blood, or nails to assume their identity. People vanish without a trace, only for them to reappear, changed. But the Ilimu doesn't stop at humans. It's also linked to man-eating lions. Some African tribes think deadly lion attacks are actually Ilimu activity, the beasts possessed by the demon. In 1898, British railway workers in Savo were hunted by the infamous ghost and darkness lions, which avoided traps and defenses with almost supernatural intelligence. It took weeks of hunting and over 9 bullets to bring them down. Were they just lions? Well, you can find out by Googling. Number 1. Lagahu. In the Caribbean, the lagahu is feared as a shape-shifting jumbie, a muscular figure wrapped in rattling chains with a coffin for a head. This terrifying entity hunts by night, feasting on livestock and the occasional human. Much like the loup-garou, werewolf, of French legend, the lagahu can shift into different animals, including a horse-like beast with glowing eyes. It is nearly impossible to kill, as its form constantly changes to escape death. Defeating a lagahu requires a grueling 9-day ritual where it must be beaten with a holy stick until it vanishes into smoke. Strangely, its French counterpart, the loup-garou, can be stopped simply by throwing rice on the ground, as it is compelled to count every grain. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.